Hi everyone, so welcome back to Rebirth TV. I am Stacy Benton, and we are doing our Rebirth A Gift Series. So just want to really welcome you back and spending your time of watching the content, just spending your time with me. And I just want to really encourage you to go back and watch the other videos because it will give you more information, education, inspiration, motivation, and transformation when it comes to your healing journey and healing from your complex trauma. So this is what Rebirth A Gift Series is about. This is what Rebirth TV is about. This is our pilot. And we're just really excited. I'm excited to be sharing this content with you and hope that is helping you grow, heal, transform your childhood wounds, your complex trauma. Um, so right now we are in part one, which is conception. And I was sharing an article we were just talking about on the previous videos when it comes to just not having any guilt or shame surrounding your trauma, your childhood trauma, which is very prevalent if you have experienced that in any shape or form, any type of childhood abuse or trauma, is that it really flows into your adult life and impacts your life emotionally in so many different areas and causes like emotional dysregulation and also just emotional imbalance. When your emotions are up and down, you just feel like you're kind of like all over the place sometimes. And that could be rooted in, well, it is a foundational premise to your trauma. And there's a correlation there. So what I'm going to do is just go back to the article that we were actually going over. And we were just talking about the borderline personality disorder. And on the other video is that I want to really encourage you to watch that because I did go over this article in more detail. The article is at www.verywellhealth.com. They have really, really great articles, informational articles when it comes to your trauma and just different psychological readings and education on what you may have experienced or currently experiencing when it comes to complex trauma. So I just want to really spend time here. I kind of ended this on the last video because I didn't want to rush through this because this is very a sensitive topic and I do want to have precautionary because I know that there could be some really emotional instability. And here on this platform, it's not about shaming or guilting anyone. If you are if you experience childhood abuse, or you've witnessed any form of childhood abuse, so this is not a platform for that. This is a platform to encourage and inspire and motivate you so that you can now transform those experiences into positivity and transform your life. So if you are someone you know are having suicidal thoughts, dial 988 to contact the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline and connect with a trained counselor. If you or a loved one are in immediate danger, please call 911. For more mental health resources, you can see the National Helpline database. Okay. And so these are just resources. A huge aspect of healing your trauma, your complex trauma, your childhood trauma as an adult is breaking the silence, letting go of the shame and the guilt. This was not your fault. Your fault. Your childhood abuse was as a result of someone that most likely had their own mental health issues or own childhood issues, or they were abused. It's multi-generational. They come from a family of abuse. And unfortunately, if you experience this, there's always hope. Do not ever let anyone diminish your hope. And sometimes having hope is just reaching out for help. Reaching out, if it's just calling this line. Do not lay there in your bed sobbing, tormenting yourself, numbing yourself, self-medicating yourself, when you can break the silence, destroy the shame and the guilt from your childhood, and reach out for help. There is no shame in getting the help. There's no shame or guilt in getting help or understanding what you have gone through. There's no shame in that. Actually, that is the opposite. That represents courage. That represents resiliency. And three main areas that you can reach out for help is a trained professional. That's a therapist. Also a spiritual leader, someone you trust spiritually, or a coach, a trauma coach is also another avenue to break your silence and to reach out for the help that you know that you really desire, because you're tired, you're exhausted with the emotional roller coaster, with the constant feeling like you're not quite where you want to be. And also, you may be tired of this. As long as you actually, especially if you're feeling like emptiness, emotional instability, identity disturbances, just unstable self-image and sense of self, impulsive behaviors, reckless driving, binge eating, substance abuse, or unsafe sex, inappropriate intense anger, or difficulty controlling anger. Now, these are all symptoms of borderline personality disorder, but also this could be related to just emotions you may be having and you don't have a diagnosis, but you don't feel quite like yourself. And here's another article here, well, another message that I want to really take time to share is that if you or a loved one are struggling with borderline personality disorder, contact the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration National Helpline. It's 1-800-662-4357. Again, that's 1-800-662-4357 for information on support and treatment facilities in your area. So this is just another way for you to reach out for help. So you can say, okay, I'm done with the shame and the guilt. What happened in my childhood was not my fault, but I'm still having issues, deep wounded issues in my life. I'm seeing that I'm not myself. I have some concerns. I may have a substance abuse or just struggling mentally or emotionally. Reaching out for help. Part of this platform is to encourage you to break the silence, break the shame and the guilt, and you can actually begin your journey or continuing your journey of healing. Because if you already acknowledge that something is wrong, that something happened to you as a child, and you quite haven't healed or restored from that, is actually now the next step is to reach out for help. so that you can have the resources, the support. You can be empowered in a way that you was not before because of the shame and the guilt. Because what you experienced was really out of your control in so many areas, especially as a child. And if you are experiencing this as an adult, this is the time to break your silence, be more courageous than you already have been, and get the support system that you know you desperately need. Because if you don't address it now, it's only going to progressively get worse. It does not get better. Trauma do not get better when you ignore it. Complex trauma do not heal itself. You have to engage in the healing process. You have to be willing to face those dark times in your childhood, in your past, in your minds, in your emotions, in your soul. So this is what this platform is about, Rebirth to Gift. And I just want to encourage you here. So this is just really a note from a word from Very Well, just to encourage you to get help, just what I just said. And there is treatment, there is help, and you have to look at this as a holistic approach. Your treatment to your childhood trauma, even if you have borderline personality disorder or some other diagnosis or some other concerns around emotional or psychological health, is that this is a process. Healing takes time. It is a journey. And I want you to be encouraged. I want you to feel empowered that despite if you have a diagnosis or you don't have a diagnosis, it's never too late to begin or continue on your healing journey. It's never too late to reach out for help. It's never too late to say, I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of feeling the guilt and the shame. I'm tired of being stagnated. I'm just ready for a change. So Rebirth to Give, the whole platform, Rebirth TV, is about to encourage change. It's to encourage you to want to take that next step. And if the next step is reaching out in whatever manner that you feel comfortable or necessary for your life, but do not sit there and suffer in silence, because you do not have to. You do not have to suffer in silence. There is help. There's resources. There is a way to stop the trauma cycle. And as I was saying before, if you don't disrupt the pattern, it only gets worse over time. The symptoms gets worse, the trauma just kind of gets worse, and then it can actually progressively turn into other issues, like we were just going over: borderline personality disorder, bipolar disorder, other mental health issues. So be superwoman or superman for yourself, and be your own advocate. Because many of you advocate for everyone else, you're strong for everyone else. So now it's time for you to advocate for yourself. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel like you can do this. I want you to feel like Rebirth A Gift Series is here to help you through your journey. Look at it as a holistic approach that you're addressing psychological, health, and spiritual all in one. That causes you or supports your transformation. So always remember that healing is a transformational journey, And I'm so excited to go on that journey with you.